Hey everybody, so I'm gonna do a YouTube video showing what the course looks like so far because it's almost done. It's not completely finished yet, and I realize I said publish tomorrow. What I failed to realize is that it's gonna take Udemy some time to review it and publish it. So I'm going to submit it tomorrow, and there's still gonna be some things to like finish, but I wasn't expecting it. It's going to be a constant work in progress. Like, obviously, it's going to launch very soon, but then I'm going to keep adding to it and keep, like, redoing the videos to make them better. And theoretically, if I do that and maintain it in a year, it should be a really profitable dropshipping course that educates a lot of people and can be a place to go to learn a whole lot about dropshipping. And that's the goal. That being said, let me show you what it looks like so far. So we have an intro now, but the intro, like the wind blew really loudly. So I don't mind it throughout the other videos, but probably gonna redo the intro. So the second section is, okay, before I get into the sections, the order of this might change. So don't take this as like, oh, this is the fully fledged outline. I'm just showing you what exists now, okay? I don't know what's the order it's going to be shown in, but there's a section called Core Concepts. And this is just Marc and myself talking about both of our experience with all of these subjects. So we talk about the sources and suppliers, and then after that there's a video showing a list that we made recently that's a community document that has over 300 sources that you can use and notes about each source, and also like is edited by the community and constantly evolving, so that's pretty awesome. And then we talk about pricing, and this is specifically about kind of what costs go into a dropshipping sale, and like what costs go into the business. Like if you sell an item for $130, how much of that is stuff that you have to pay in order to sell the items in the first place, that kind of thing. We also do a video about seasonality, and that's about like the fluctuations in the times of year and common questions that people ask and that kind of thing. And then the difference between optimization and bulk. Marc runs an optimization format, I run a bulk format. Optimization is much more common, and there's currently a lot more content on the internet about running an optimization format dropshipping business. There isn't so much about bulk, so I'm trying to make more of that available. We do a video about scaling a business, and this is something that Marc has more experience than I do, so we do 2 of them, and he talks about some of the issues that he's encountered from scaling his business. And then there's going to be a video about how to handle out of stock and all that kind of thing. And then we have a section on posting items. This has 3 areas, and notice anytime you see this little icon here, that means that the video has already been created. See? So that means it's more solid than things like this. If you see the little text file, that means I just made a title, just for reference. We have a section on posting items. So I show you how to manually post an item, then I show you how to semi-automatically post an item, and then I'm going to show you also how to bulk post an item. I didn't add that here yet, but I will. I'm talking about the wrong section. That's this section here. So manual, semi-automatic, and automatic. This section is a section designed to help you guys figure out what to post. So there's a video about encouraging you guys to make lists of items that you like. Instead of looking at items one by one, just get in the habit of when you're trying to figure out what kind of items you're interested in, just find 5 of them. Even if you don't end up using the list, get in the habit of making lists. It really, really, really makes things easier and more efficient in the long run if you can get in that habit now, right? And then there's also a video on extracting all of the URLs quickly from a search result. So say that you find a search result and it's like a page of items and you really like all the items on that page and you want to get the URLs. There's like 2 buttons you can click and get all of the URLs from that page. This video shows you how to do it. And then this video is much longer. You can see it's 29 minutes. In this video, I go through every single sale I had in July, June, and August and show you the keyword, the picture, the sale price. So you guys could steal these. I don't care what you do with them. The idea here is that I want to show you items that I sold. You know that these sold at one point. So you can do what you will with that information, and hopefully it'll give you guys some insight or some inspiration, so you spend less time thinking about what to post and more time actually posting things, right? Okay, so we've talked about that, and then we have a section on profitability. I talked about this in a previous video. So this starts off with a video where Marc and I talk about profitability versus sales, and that's that whole concept of like, you could easily make a business that sells $100,000 a month, but are you making any money? And in a lot of situations, a business that sells $10,000 or $20,000 a month can be more profitable than a business that's selling $100,000. Doesn't mean it is. There isn't a necessary correlation, but it's important that you understand that sale quantity does not equal profitability. Then after that, there's sections on how to make your existing business more profitable. The main three ways are using cashback, gift cards, and then sales tax exemption. So that's all you need there. And then I have a section about my bulk approach. So this is it's a lot of videos of me looking at things and kind of talking about what I'm doing as I go through it, so that you guys can get a sense of like what my perspective on it is, whether you agree with it or not, or whether you just so that like you get an understanding of, from a bulk mentality, how do I feel about these things? And this is also things that are like useful and tasks that I do, right? Like I have to make big lists of items. So this is how I go about doing that. This text editor is, well, yeah, I just moved that because this text editor is how I make the big list of items. So it makes sense to do a video introducing this text editor that I do, which is Sublime Text, right? And then some videos about this. And there's also a video where I spend about 30 minutes looking at a source for the first time and trying to figure out if it would be viable as a bulk posting source. So these videos, I don't necessarily intend for people to watch them throughout as they go through the course, because they're not going to necessarily teach you something specific, but they will be a lot of commentary, and you'll show what my thought process is as I'm evaluating a source, which will be useful to some of you, right? Then Marc is going to do a section on optimization. I'm not sure when the course might launch before this gets done. I'm not entirely sure. So we might just do some quick videos talking about it and then develop it more over time. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Then there's a section about dropshipping software. This section is going to be another section where it's just Marc and I talking about these subjects and with our relevant experience. I haven't finished recording these. Usually I sit down with Marc and I like record like a whole section in like an hour or two. It doesn't take that long, which is really awesome because we both have talked on video so much. So it's just like, all right, let's hang out. Okay, another section is about eBay holds, PayPal holds, and all that kind of stuff. So this section is going to tell you about account limits. It's going to tell you about your PayPal account, the common issues that people have, how the holds work, rolling reserves, withholding limitations, PayPal jail, all of that. Also talk to you about stealth accounts and some more information about them. And when they might be necessary to use. And then there's also a video about store subscriptions on eBay, showing you exactly what point it's necessary to go from having a basic to a premium to an anchor store on eBay, and more information about that. And so then there's another section that's kind of like the second part of the bulk. I'm probably going to move this section up. Udemy is kind of irritating, like, see, I can't move a section by its whole section, which is kind of irritating. So I have to manually move it one by one. It takes forever. So a lot of the sections are in weird places. But this section is going to be like me showing you exactly what the work is that I do every day. And there's three main sections here. There's the eBay message queue, and this is how I start my day off. I open my eBay messages, and then I open all the tabs up, and that's kind of the queue that I look through, and I read everything, and that gives me a sense of what I need to respond to, what I need to do, if there's things from eBay that I need to take care of, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the first part, and it's usually one of the more time-consuming parts. After that, I process orders. So that's just placing the orders, doing that part, dealing with the out of stocks, all that. And then the third part is when I deal with my returns and my cases. So these are the 3 things that I check every single day. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. And I'm just going to blur out all the sensitive information. So you guys are going to be seeing the exact work that I do. And I'm going to explain what I'm doing as I do it. I won't necessarily always show like the whole 30 minutes of it, because recording it makes it take longer than it normally does, because my computer runs much slower when it's also recording and other complications. But you guys will get a solid sense of what it is that I do every day. And I'm trying to give you the experience that I got so you don't have to make the mistakes that I made, right? There's going to be a section as well about GSP. And this whole section is going to be about GSP. And this is because I really want to encourage people to use it. I think that it almost should be under the profitability section, because it's just another thing that you can do to get more sales. And I'm less worried about GSP sales than domestic sales. So then we have the final 2 sections, and these are each guest dropshipping sections. So I'm currently in a co-living situation called Grind Space that Marc Augustine from No BS Dropshipping is hosting. So there are other guests here. One of them is a dropshipper from the UK. So she's in a section where we talk about the differences between UK dropshipping and regular dropshipping. And there's 3 things that I thought were really interesting. So we did some quick videos about those. And there'll also be a link to her YouTube channel in the course. So that's kind of the incentive for the guests to be on the course, is because they're going to get traffic from the course, and it'll evolve over time and, bring their YouTube channel more content. And then the last section is going to be a section for Spanish speakers. And this is going to be mostly just not so much how to dropship, but talking about what dropshipping is and how you might go about learning about more of it, and what you can do if you don't speak English, and what the problems that you encounter are going to be, and what you need to improve. So there's 4 sections here. Ignore these good bulk and bad bulk. These go in the previous section, and they're just here for now. So these 4 sections, the first one is dropshipping for people who live in the United States but do not speak or are Spanish speakers. And then the second section here is explaining dropshipping for people who do not live in the United States but are Spanish speakers. So people in Latin America, Central America, South America, that kind of thing. And I guess Spain as well. The thing is, it's much harder. So it's not necessarily saying, oh, this is easy, this is how you do it. It's a video directed at them so that they can at least have an intro to what dropshipping is. Because ultimately, no matter where you are, there is a way to use dropshipping to change your life. But figuring out exactly how it's going to play its role in your life is tricky. And you have to be pretty developed to do that. So the third section is about using Google Translate to handle customer service issues with eBay when you don't know English as your main language. So you can use Google Translate in order to deal with all messages. And it's a little bit tedious at first, but you get used to it. And I think that it does allow you to provide a level of customer service that, as long as you make sure you don't use too many words, is quite good. The issue is when you have to talk on the phone. So that's the 4th section, is like how to say things in English that you have to talk on the phone for. And those are things like limit increases. Most other things can be done through messages. Obviously, not all the time. You do have to call eBay for some other things. But there's only 2 things that I have to call them for. And I barely talk to them anymore on the phone. So I used to all the time, but that was because of my access to it. Now it's a little bit harder. I have to do a Skype call, and there's other complications. But yeah, all right, guys, this is the course so far. And like 80% of this is already done. Everything that you see here will be a section. So there's no more like theoretical sections. This is all stuff that's going to be in the course, or already is in the course, right? And I hope that you guys like it. It's going to be out really soon. It's going to get submitted for review within a day or 2. So I thought it would be published on that day. I didn't realize I jumped the gun a bit there. I should have thought about the fact that Udemy has to review it. So it's going to be out really soon, guys. All right. Ciao.